What's happening, everybody? Happy Thursday. Welcome to 0 to 60. I am your host, Matt McChesney. The afternoon show is going to kick absolute ass today. I am super excited to talk to and interview one of my guys. All right. He wears number 60 on the field, but he is truly number one in your hearts. All right. We're talking about Drake Nugent, the starting center at the University of Michigan. And in my opinion, it is Michigan against everybody on earth. I'm telling you, it is Michigan against everybody. And I am super pumped to have Drake on the show today. But like always, all right, 0 to 60 is brought to you by our really great friends at Bet Online. All right. Now, Bet Online is where the game starts. All right. All the pro sports leagues and college leagues are rolling. This is the best time of the year every year to be a sports fan and a sports bettor. Bet Online remains your top spot for all of your live betting actions and contests. You can get wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions there. It's full swing, man. Bet Online is your number one source. All right. Hoops betting action, along with every sport available at your fingertips before. And you can do it both on your desktop. You can do it on your mobile. I mean, I don't know if people got pagers still, but I'm sure you can figure out a way to do it on your pager. If you got a pager, get a phone. All right. Head to Bet Online today. Remember to use the promo code BLEAV, BLEAV, all capitalized, 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. You put 100, they match it $50. Sounds like a pretty good deal to you and me. Bet Online is where the game starts, and it starts off 0 to 60 today as our title sponsor. And I'm super excited about today's guest. Give you a little rundown here. All right. Drake Nugent, as he tries to figure out how to finger mash his computer and get on the show. Drake Nugent is a bad man. He's been in this program at 6-0 for a decade, 8 years, but he'll be in it until he's done playing football, which is probably another 10 or 12 in the league. Everything, if everything works the way it's supposed to. I remember Drake walked in as a snot-nosed kid at 15 years old, with Austin Johnson, who's, best friend. Austin is the center at Purdue, playing for Coach Walters. They both played at Highland Ranch next to each other. That was, you want to say special. That shit was special, to say the least. And both of these guys are just different mentally, but Drake Nugent is... He's such a dominant mental presence on the field. He can overcome damn near anything from a perspective of adversity. He's smart as hell. I mean, this kid's already graduated from Stanford, and he's motivated by spite. Like it's one of these things that, like, the more you tell this kid what he can't do, the more he's just going to look at you and like smile and go do that shit. And that's that dude. So him and I have so much in common mentally. He's such a great player on the field. And it is an honor and a pleasure to bring my guy on right now, the starting center for the University of Michigan. It's Michigan versus everybody on earth. My man, Drake Nugent's in the house. D, how are you, brother? Happy Thursday to you.
What's up, man? Happy Thursday to you too.
Yeah, so I was just singing you some praises, and I know you're Captain Humble over there, but I'm gonna give my dog his due today. Highlands Ranch High School, a bad man, everything in Colorado that you can imagine. Went to Stanford, played his balls off at Stanford. 3 great years in Palo Alto, right? Or 4? 4 great years in Palo Alto. What is your degree in?
Science, technology, and society.
And that, my friends, is why you go to Stanford right there. So if football doesn't work out, yeah, right. You can always, use your science, technology, and what?
I don't even know.
I don't even know. I just know. You know what it says on your degree?
Figure that out later.
Stanford.
Yeah, right. That's why I went there.
So that's pretty fucking cool. You want to talk about investment paying off. And then, the transfer portal works to your advantage, obviously, because you're a hell of a player. You graduated. You earned the right to use the mediums in college football that are available. And, you end up at the University of Michigan playing for Coach Moore, playing with a bunch of Dungeon family guys that, all a bunch of Colorado kids, Reese Atterbury and Gentry and Connor Jones and guys that you've known and worked with in the past. And You get up there to Michigan, and now you're on every watch list that a center can be on. You are a preseason first-team All-American. Go Blue is rolling. You're undefeated. It's Michigan against everybody. And in the middle of the mix, in the trench, is number 60, mixing it up with everybody every week, whipping that ass. And look, we're going to get into all the history of 6-0 and your everything, but I need to ask you one question right off the bat, bro, because I've never seen this before. How does it feel as a grown man playing the center position for Michigan to walk into Happy Valley and run the ball 32? And I know it's 30, but you had 2 kneel downs in victory. Yeah. So I'm fucking counting those. How does it feel to run the ball at Penn State 32 straight times and just like annihilate another human's will and physically just dominate them at the point of attack? Like, talk to the people about what it feels like to do that to another human.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was really a stat until like I saw it on Twitter when I got back Saturday night to the apartment. Like, I don't know, when you're in it, it's like super fucking loud and like it was a crazy place to play. Like I played like Autzen and like Washington, but like this was another level. Like I could not hear a fucking thing. And it was like, but it's honestly awesome though, because like it gives you juice. Like every play they're loud and like, so like you kind of just have to lock in even more on every play, which is even better. But like I didn't even know that we were running the ball that much. I mean, we had some good success running it honestly early, and then kind of kept breaking up. I mean, they stopped us plenty of times, for short gains, and it was kind of frustrating. But at the same time, that's when we were able to break the long ones. But yeah, it kind of just hit me when I saw that just as much as everyone else. Like, I didn't even know we ran the ball that many fucking times. It's kind of awesome, though.
I mean, it's just and the fact that you guys, like you and the rest of that monster offensive line, which you guys are up for the Joe Moore Award again, maybe, and I think you'll three-peat. 1, 2, 3, Michael Jordan shit, three-peat on the Joe Moore Award. But the whole group is so dominant. Your tight ends are involved. Your backs are involved. I bet you JJ would go block a motherfucker if he could after he hands the ball off. I mean, he seems like the kind of dude that you want to play for as an offensive lineman. And as we continue this, Drake Nugent, starting center for the Michigan Wolverines, proud Highlands Ranch Falcon, a Stanford graduate, always will be a proud Cardinal. Played 4 years for Stanford, and in my opinion, was just another badass in the lineage of center play out of that incredible institution. Joins us here on 0 to 60. Next question. I played with Joe Klatt in college, Bobby Pesavento, guys that you would run through a wall for, but I was on defense. So like, in the league, when you're blocking for Favre or Chad Pennington or whomever, you take a lot of pride in that. Talk about JJ just being cool, calm, and collected. What I loved, when I heard that Coach Moore, Coach Moore is that dude.
Yeah,
you got one badass O-line coach, bro. I mean, he's a. I think that if things go down and football happens, I think he'd probably be the next guy in line at Michigan. But talk about like when JJ stood up at halftime when Coach Moore was like, we're going to run the ball the whole fucking second half. And he went, this is a great idea, Coach. How motivating is that for the offensive line?
Yeah, he's always been like that. He's definitely a guy you want to play for. He takes us out to dinner and stuff like that. We hang out with him outside the facility. And he's just like, I was telling someone this the other day, but he's just like a good dude. Like, there's really no other way to put it. Like, and that when he's a super special and talented kid, but I think when you have that behind you, like it makes you want to play that much harder. And like, that there's a lot of money on the line for him. So if you fuck up, then that's money out of his pocket. And as long as I'm doing my job, then that's all I really care about and protecting his ass. So that's kind of the approach that I take to it.
All right, so you guys got Maryland this week. Big noons there again. They're following you guys around the country as you guys deal with a ton of adversity. We're not going to talk about any of that, but I am going to ask this question. I am of the mindset that like in 2004 when I was a senior, my Coach Barnett got suspended for the entire offseason because of some shit he said in the media. People were just eviscerating the program because of a scandal that turned out to be a bunch of bullshit, just like this one is. You guys are dealing with a ton of adversity. there's a ton of idiots out here in the world that think it's like the reason like things are going to crumble. And I'm over here in the corner like, oh no, they're just going to rally around this. And then I saw the Michigan versus everybody t-shirt. I was like, okay, now this is a big, okay, you guys don't think that we can do this without whatever you think we're doing? We're about to whip that fucking ass. Talk about the ability to rally around adversity.
Yeah, I think a lot of it, like we're able. It's almost like a familiar spot, especially for this team. Just given like the first 3 games of the year. Sorry, shit.
All good, bro.
Fucking hairball. But I think the first 3 games of the year, we didn't have coach. Yeah, shit. I guess it's still fucking whatever.
Shit, man. Get it out.
Yeah, but either way, the first 3 games of the year we didn't have Harbaugh because that suspension with like the recruiting, like cheeseburger, whatever the fuck. But
no cheeseburgers for you guys.
Yeah, right. But I think it was just like even with Coach Moore, I think it was just like kind of familiar territory, like not having him there and everyone kind of stepping up because we got some really smart coaches on the staff, whether it's like Moore or the DC or even just like the position coach, like QB coach, tight ends coach, like there's in D line, even like situationally, I think we have a great staff to like not put us in shitty situations, game management clockwise or
run the ball 30 straight times.
Or that. But I think it's just familiar territory for everyone, and obviously, like we don't like Michigan's name being badmouthed in the media, but it's kind of part of the process, and given the nature of everything that's happened, so like it's really whatever. But it's kind of just something for us to laugh off of, honestly, and just kind of talk about in the locker room, just kind of shoot the shit, and I don't know, just another fucking thing to talk about. Honestly, it's not really getting to us or anything.
That's the thing. I can just put myself in the locker room, knowing you and working with you as long as we have. We're going to transition that in a second, but I can just imagine you and the rest of the guys sitting around like, this is actually a fucking thing. How stupid is this?
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
This is what you're going to pick to come after us for? Okay. We're about to whip that ass. So, look, Maryland's in trouble this week. They're a target. They're a good football team, but I think you guys will eat them, and I can't wait to watch it. The process, brother, is the prize. You know this. We've been talking about it since you were a whip. And I just want you to see something real quick. Like, that on my phone and in the cloud, wherever the fuck that is, by the way, I take pictures of everything, dog. And I got shit from back in the day. So hats off to Bree Macis, my co-host, who did a great job with this morning. And I just dropped it on her like 10 minutes ago. And she's like, son of a bitch. But I mean, look, just some of these pictures that you're going to see here, Drake and Salsa and everything else that you see here on the screen. This is why we do what we do. So Drake at Stanford, Drake giving me a jersey over at Michigan with Salsa again. Ray Robinson, Bear Miller, guys that we played with in the past. Bro, you've been in this this program for years.
Yeah.
You're proud of your family. In fact, bro, you might be the fucking leader of the entire damn thing. Like you're number 2 in command. If the big guy goes down, you're taking over 60. So like, when you guys wear a number in high school and that's your number, and you get to college and I mean, bro, like you pick 60 and then you rock with it, and you and Zune and Jake and McGovern and all these other guys that rock that number, like it honors this place. It honors me. It's incredible, bro. Like the feeling and the emotion that goes with that. But when you and Austin walked in when you were 15 years old, and both of you said, we want to be Power 5 D1 badasses and go to the league. And I said, I believe you. And then it started. And since that moment, brother, it's been nothing but grind to shine. You've achieved every goal imaginable while you've got people like Clayton Adams that were like, oh, he's too short. And I'm like, oh, well, stupid fuck. Like, here we go. So every motivating factor that you've had, everything you've gone through, and the bridge that is 6-0, just talk about what it meant to you, what it means to be the Dungeon, like in the Dungeon family, and give a little bit of a backstory of just what this place and this environment harbors when you're a real one.
Yeah. So obviously I came in when I was 15 at the old place off of what was it? Off of County Line, I think it was.
Way back in the day. Like, when did you even start? 2000.
It was me and Salsa, man. It was Martin Luther King Jr. day of my freshman year. So, or no, my 8th grade. I was in 8th grade.
8th grade. So
Yeah.
whenever that is, that's when he started.
Yeah, I don't know, probably 10 years or something. That's kind of wild to even think
Together.
about. But yeah, I mean, I went in there, and I still remember the day I went in there. I was actually with my mom. Surprisingly, how much me and my dad talked to you and have been a part of the program, and whatnot.
Yeah, Terry was here yesterday.
Yeah, he told me. Yeah, I went in there with my mom. I still remember you asking me, and you were fucking intimidating as shit. I think back then you had like your long hair going. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? And that was like back when like you were. I don't think you were as established yet. I mean, you were still up and coming too within like the Colorado high school community and stuff like that.
Yep.
I was like, this guy's a fucking beast. Like, this is sick. And I just remember seeing like Gator and all those guys working out, at that old gym. I still remember like those mornings in there. They're like pushing the bitch up and down and back like 100 times. Like it's snowing outside. I'm outside puking or whatever. Like I don't know. That shit is so awesome to look back on. Like in the moment, you're just like, this is the worst thing ever. And like, especially for me, my recruiting didn't really blow up till later because I was a little bit undersized and stuff. So I kind of had to truly trust the process in that regard. But I mean, 6-0 kind of gave me everything that recruiting, especially recruiting wise. I mean, you and your voice, the help of coaches, and also just like I've talked to you about this before, but just like the mindset too. When you're pushing those sleds, or it just gives you that extra confidence knowing that the extra other guys in Colorado aren't doing that. So like when you go across from them on Friday nights, like they're in fucking trouble. So
Man, brother, you are speaking my fucking language right
so, like it honestly carried over to college. I mean, they kicked our ass at Stanford in here a few times for sure, and I've been in some deep ass water, but still I still don't think some of those workouts that I did were as hard here at this level than we did then. Partially maybe because like I've trained myself mentally to be able to get through it a little bit better. But I mean, like I just attack everything like I did back then. It's kind of paid off. So
Yeah, I mean, and we talk about process being the prize constantly, and for you to say like I'm attacking everything now as a fifth year senior starter for the University of Michigan at the center position, and not just starting and playing, but I mean achieving every goal. One of the top 5 players at your position in the country, in my opinion. And then you're saying you attack everything the same way you did when you learned how to do it when you were 15. We had a 5 a.m.er in here this morning. We had multiple coaches, guys being evaluated, guys getting down. You can see the kids who have offers and really love it. They're always here. And there's a lot of kids that like their beds, and they're not. Yeah. And I had Chad Muma on yesterday. Muma from Legend. He plays for Jacksonville. You're going to be mashing his face into the ground at some point next year in a game. I can't wait to watch that shit. He's going to be trying to run around you and be an athlete, and he'll probably get you a couple times. You'll get him a couple times. That's what it is. The importance though of adversity, D, like when Clayton Adams told you, you're too short, we're going to go a different direction. When bad things happen, injuries, like you've been really healthy. You've had adversity, but you've also, gone to Stanford, graduated, and put yourself in a great position to be at Michigan. That said, the importance of being able to overcome these issues that are thrown in front of football players, is that more of a mindset thing for you? Or, I mean, I know that you just kind of plow through shit when you see it, but the difference between being able to handle a problem and then making the problem bigger than it is, do you think that's all mindset or something different?
I think it's definitely a mindset thing, honestly. I think early as I grew up, I kind of told this to the team the other day, actually, when I broke us down. But like as I grew up, I feel like you kind of learn to pick yourself back up when shit's going wrong. But like as I've gotten older, that almost becomes a habit. Like there's no other choice other than to keep going when shit's going wrong. But I think as I've had more success, I think the real like measure of a man is like when shit's going right for you, how can you keep that same mentality as if you're still being spited, and still being able to put yourself like in that mental position as if like you're still being spited by everyone, like everything's going wrong, even though in reality it really might not be. So I think that's a pretty powerful motivator in itself.
All right, so as you've rolled into this season, just talk about the guys around you on the offensive line. Your guards are animals, your tackles are animals. How cool is it to just the transfer portal? There's a lot of negative connotation with it. I think that it's an incredibly valuable tool for guys, especially that have graduated and handled their business like you did.
Mhm.
Your right tackle was also transfer, right? He came from Arizona State, right?
Left tackle, yeah.
Left tackle came from Arizona State. So just talk about like how you guys have all gelled and how, your guards are animals. So
Yeah.
just talk about your offensive line that's about to be three-peat Joe Moore.
Yeah, they're all, like you said, they're all beasts. And that's obviously one reason why I came here, just to play with a bunch of guys that are like-minded. They're all good players. Because I think obviously being an lineman, we're a unit, so we're only as strong as our weakest link, and like here there really are none. So honestly, it helped me elevate my game to another level too. At the same time, I was able to gel with them in the off season, hang out with them, in workouts and all throughout the last 10 months we've been together, even through the camp and season too. But yeah, like you said, like Zenner, my right guard, Keegan, my left guard, they're heavy bodies, they're athletes, and like they're smart players too. So we're always I feel like we play really well together, honestly. And then tackles, you got Barnhart outside on the right, and then LD has been left the past few games, and those guys have been great too. Even on like the back blocks and stuff, like if they have a fold with the Sam on like a 4-eye or something coming over the top, and just like some of the stuff that we pass off is just pretty seamless. Sometimes you don't really got to think about it, which is a good sign, especially for a group that's only been together for a short period of time. So.
All right, so 2 more questions for him. We get you out of here. I know you got a big week of preparation getting ready for Maryland, and then next week is Turkey Week, and the
big one
guys. You're gonna have to go deal with those other guys. 2 questions. Okay, the first one: how awesome is it? You went to Stanford. You and Bear Miller were in the same class together. A guy that you trained with every day for 3-4 years. You go to Stanford with him. You get to play a lot of ball with one of your homeboys. You go to Michigan. You're practicing is Reese a pretty good defensive lineman?
Yeah, he's a big body. He got stuff to move.
Fucking awesome, man. I mean, you got Reese Atterbury, you got Gentry, you got Connor Jones, who's a puppy, but still, he looks up to you. And I know he busts his ass and really is out there trying to, be the next guy when all 5 of you guys go to the league. How fucking cool is it to just be around all your guys all the time and then go play against your guys every week? And, being the Purdue game and you and Austin being on the field together and just talk about how the community, the 6-0 Army, the Dungeon family that's everywhere. Just talk about how cool it is to just be around guys that you've been working with forever and then play against them and just the community that is.
Yes, yeah, especially with Bear too. I played against him when I was in like the 7th and 8th grade, and I always fucking hated his ass. He was always on like the Creek Red Nation team or whatever. Probably Nick's probably got some kid like that he hates.
Yes, this is true. Like I hate him, but I love him at the same time.
Yeah, but then we went to Stanford together. I played with him obviously, and it was great. I think it just makes everything a little bit easier, especially coming to Michigan. The transition was it was super seamless. The coaches made that pretty easy, but at the same time, Gentry's here, Reese is here, and I didn't really know Gentry that much, obviously, because he wasn't a Dungeon family guy, but I knew him because I played against him. He's a big recruit in Colorado. So it's definitely nice to have people that and you can kind of lean on or talk about the Nuggets or the Avs or just some whatever bullshit there is that you can see eye to eye on. So it's just nice to have them in our corner.
All right, last question. You brought up Nick. He's in here at 5 a.m. this morning, looking pretty damn good. Davis Moon is another kid that he plays next to, who's a bad motherfucker. Both these young boys. It's like I'm looking at you and Salsa again.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Bear and Jake. I'm looking at Aiden and Cale Weatherby. The Miller brothers, Braden and Bear. It's just I'm watching these guys and I'm like, holy shit, bro, it's happening now with mine. Nick, today, we measured him in front of the coaches. Nick is 6'3", 270 pounds. He's 13, dog. He's wearing my shoes, my pants, or my shorts, my hoodie. Hey, Dad, can I pass that? Yeah, fucking hey, you can pass that, buddy. Let's go to work.
That's awesome.
So they look up to you so much, bro. Like the way that you came in, and like when you were a young guy, and we worked with Jensen and McGovern and Austin and Reisner, and you be in that group of the pros for the day, and like how cool that was for you back in the day. Well, now that's you. You're the All-American. You're the next generation. You're the guy getting looked up to. And it's my son. And you know how I feel about you, Drake, and your family. You're my family. Like there's everybody in here special, this Dungeon family, but then there's another group, and I don't know how many guys are in it, but if you're in it, you know, and it's a real tight-knit group of just, you don't have to be a player anymore. Like Sam Jones is another one of those guys.
Yeah.
And Sammy doesn't play anymore, but we always talk, and it's the bond there is something you can't break.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that I've watched you mature is from a young man to a fucking grown one, and this next step you're about to take, bro. And I personally think that you're a 10, 12, 15-year player in that league and going to be a great one. So you get the next 3-5 minutes, however long you want to take, to talk to my son, to say to Nick, who's going to go into his freshman year next year, and it's coming down to like Chatfield or Creek or like, I hate to, maybe Valor, maybe if they put him on scout, like Mullen, like he's gonna go there. I just wanted to see you say it. I wanted to hear what you had to say about that. Fuck that. So you get an opportunity to talk to Nick, bro. What are you saying to a guy who wears 60? Yeah, and it has a lot to do with this place and his dad. But when he says, I look at that picture, Pops, and I don't just want to wear it because of you, but Drake wears it. He's my favorite player, and Trey and Jake and Connor and all these other. I want to be like them. What do you say to my boy? I'm like getting emotional about this shit, bro. It really. I know I'm a fucking hardcore coach too, but these young men bust their ass in this room, and you were one of them, and you're still one of them, and they look up to you an awful lot, D. So what would you say to Nick and Dave?
I mean, shit. I mean, everything I've said, you probably said to him already, and he knows it. But one thing I'd say is probably just don't let the world turn you soft. Fucking they like social media, politics, whatever the fuck it is. Like people are always just trying to like make sure everyone's feelings are okay, and like just especially in the football world, like even some coaches might be a little nice sometimes because like kids might have mental health problems or whatever, but like just like even like David Goggins always says, like just I'm kind of joking, but like stay fucking hard, like you kind of have to, and especially going throughout high school and shit, like God knows, like a girl might break his heart or something. Like don't let any outside noise fuck with you, in your dreams of going to play college ball. I just like that's one thing that especially you taught me early on, like especially one thing that you always did was like you treated us like a man. Like even I was a fucking 16-year-old shithead pussy. Like you were like you always like were giving us some like pep talk, coach talks. Like we'd be in there Thursday before like a Friday game, and you're like, you guys are fucking men. You're gonna beat the shit out of these guys. Like it was just awesome to hear that. And like and like Peyton, it kind of goes back to like what Peyton Manning said. Remember when he retired in his speech, he was like, you treat a man as he is, he'll remain as he is. You treat a man as he could be, he'll become what he should be. And I think that's all it's about. So that's how I'd probably treat Nick from here on out, as probably a full grown man.
Fucking A, bro. I mean that's that's one of the gifts that I have, I think, is being able to see a kid, and go, it's not a boy or a kid, that's a fucking man right there. And like just I can see 5-10 years down the road what you guys can be, and what I know all of you, every kid wants to be. But in this world we live in, especially in fucking Hobbytown, Colorado,
Highlands Ranch, baby.
Ranch, baby. Woo! Like it's there's very few guys that like can decipher the difference between needing football and liking football. Like, do you need this shit to breathe, or do you just like it? And if guys who like it, they're food, bro. Like you can like it all you want, but you're going to end up being a fan. Because when it you're not going to like it anymore.
Yeah, the more time you put into it, the more you're gonna end up loving it. Like for me,
Absolutely.
especially my early years on at Stanford, like any guy going to college, like it's fucking tough to keep loving that shit. Like, you're getting the shit beat out of you on a scout team, like you're in developmental lifts, like you're not traveling every game, you're not playing, like you're just like, holy shit, like am I gonna be that guy who just goes to college and like, is this piece of shit or whatever? Like we really like have a
You're
couple
still
of
seeking. You're like, am I just going to be a guy that just goes to school for free? I can't have that.
yeah, exactly. So you kind of get a little couple of come to Jesus meetings with yourself a little bit. But yeah, I think that you just got to keep fucking going. So
All right, Drake, brother, I'm so thankful for you coming on the show. 0 to 60 on the Believe Network. Make sure you follow Drake Nugent all over social media on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Michigan does a great job posting. He's been one player of the game twice now this year.
well, we do like it's like highest graded position, so it's not like the player of the game, but
Well, it says when I look at I know that you're super humble fucking guy, but it does say player of the game, Drake Nugent. So just saying. So multiple game balls this year, preseason All-American, midseason All-American. They got Maryland this week, and then next week, Ohio State, Michigan is going to be a fucking war, bro. Like, we're not going to talk about it, but it's the first time you're going to experience it. And brother, that now it's so tense between these two schools. It's always tense, but now it's even ramped up even more, bro. I can't fucking wait for that football game. That's what college football is all about.
Yeah.
I know that you had big rivalry games at Stanford and with Cal, and you guys don't like USC none too much. But I guess I will ask you this question. As a guy who's going to play in it for the first time, how excited are you to just go play in that football game?
Yeah,
We're not looking past Maryland. That's not what I'm doing here. So anybody that thinks we're looking past them, you're out of your fucking mind. I know you're extremely focused on smashing these people's face. But how excited are you to get the Buckeyes next week, as it's your first trip around the sun on this one?
Yeah, I mean, it's super exciting. Probably closer to game time, I'll probably get a little bit more excited as the next week's fire gets a little bit bigger inside before game. But as we take care of business this weekend, as we plan to, season's going to be on the line next week with our backs against the wall, and I mean that's the only thing you can hope for in a football game like that is just 10, 11-0 teams going at it with everything on the line. Last game of the year, regular season, it's like you said, it's college football right there. That's all you can ask for.
Oh, and I forgot to ask you this, and I got to. So all the Joe Moore Award finalists came out, right, or semifinalists. Did you see? I didn't see. I can't remember everyone, but you guys are on there, obviously. And there's 3 Dungeon family members in that room, and Reese, who's a defensive lineman, so he could do both. He's a concrete Charlie. There you go, Reese. Fucking A, bro. I've never seen anybody move from O-line to D-line, but he did it, and fucking good stuff, Reese. So there's 4 guys there. Florida State's a nominee. Casey's starting for them at left guard.
Mm-hmm.
Casey Roddick. You look at Washington, they've got 2 Dungeon family guys there. You got Rosengarten and Zach Henning, the freshman. I look around, you can have 4, you guys, Florida State and Washington all make the playoff, which I think that's going to happen. That's a whole lot of Dungeon family on the field out there. The Joe Moore Award room. We might know what we're doing over here. Shit, I don't know.
Yeah, right. No shit. It's pretty sweet to think
about. Look, the offseason is going to be incredible. I can't wait to get to work and chase this dream. Brother, I'm so goddamn proud of you, Drake Nugent. I don't know if I can express the words. You know how I feel. Go beat the shit out of these people this weekend, brother, just like you were back in high school. Enjoy yourself afterwards. Be safe. Make sure that we're focused on the right shit, which I know you will be. And thank you so much for coming on the show and spitting some knowledge and talking ball with the big guy.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Love you.
Love you too, man. I'll see you later.
All right, Drake Nugent, Highlands Ranch High School, Stanford graduate, Michigan starting center, just an overall badass, great young man, bright future, and just a kid that, look, the Dungeon family is deep, and the 6-0 Army is deep, and there's a lot of kids that don't even play anymore that we've affected in a very, very positive way. And I love seeing them, and I love hearing their stories, and I love running into them in the world. But then there's another group of guys, and Drake's obviously one of them, that's they're special. That kid has gone, through a lot to get where he's at, and he's always working and he's always trying to strive to be the best. And it's a really great thing to see when we push as hard as we do in this room, and it pays off for the amount of people it pays off for, which, I mean, shit, man, over 500 kids on full ride scholarship in the last 14 years is an accomplishment. And it's something I'm very proud of. And it's why my standard is so high. And it's why, we do things the way we do things. There's no shortcuts in this world. And especially in the game of football where it's grunt mentality, like there's certain people out in the world when Drake says, you can't really focus on your feelings, that don't like that. But again, it's not a outsider's perspective on liking something that motivates us. It's the ability to ignore your emotion for 3 hours a day and go to work. And afterwards, you can try and figure it out. But there's, at some point, you got to make a decision if, am I running that or is it running me? And in every regard, whether it's, the way you think, the way you act, substances, anything, you can and should be able to control and overcome it. And if you can't, work on it. Don't get mad about it. Ain't nothing to get mad about. Just, it's something to fix. Never losing your learning, right? So, look, we could talk about this all day, but Drake's special. He brings out, a lot of feeling and emotion in the room because of the journey we've been on. His dad, Terry's one of my best friends, a guy who played at CSU and just, one of the best in the business, to say the least. So super excited about the show getting posted. Have a fantastic afternoon. Good game tonight between Baltimore and Cleveland. And look, it's going to be a good weekend. Hopefully the Buffs can get a dub. Michigan's going to hammer the fuck out of Maryland, and it sets up an unbelievably good game next week between Ohio State and Michigan. So thank you to Bet Online for all they do in supporting the show. Remember, check out 60equipment.com. I'll throw the website up here if I can find it, which I got a really nice computer. No, it sucks, actually. But go to 60equipment.com and check that out. Get yourself a shirt. I got this nice one on today. This is a hoodie, but still we got hoodies too. It's Christmas, so make sure you guys check out all that and, keep everybody clean. There's nothing better than a little 60 drip. And then, the body bags are flying off the shelf right now. We've got guys buying them left and right. The Broncos just bought some. BYU got involved yesterday, and we're shipping a couple to Coach Funk. Oklahoma and Utah also got involved, so that's pretty fucking cool. So go check that out at equipment.com. Look, it's Christmas time, so we can give you the Christmas promo code as well, and you'll get 10% off. So, thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for listening. Make sure you go to YouTube, subscribe, pound that like button, and it's Michigan against everybody, baby. Go Blue.